Our next poet tonight is Cristina Sandoval, and once again, on behalf of Cristina's chair, Professor Mai Der Vang, I will be introducing Cristina. In the work of Cristina Sandoval, poetry becomes a means by which to heal familial wounds. There is a linguistic opportunity to directly confront the harm committed, to speak it, to dismantle it through words and reassemble it on new terms. There's the power of language to directly address the ones involved in the harm, a chance to say all that could not be said even then and now. To tell that person how much has been lost, but also to remember how much has been gained and learned in the process of that loss. But even more, beyond the grief and moments of trauma, there is a chance to reimagine through poetry a new possibility for love and reconciliation. There is a chance to rewrite the pain while making way for new roots and healing ahead. Cristina Sandoval's poems and her titled collection, Delia, does all of that and more. These are poems recalling the challenges of adolescence while growing up in Modesto. These are poems that shed both anguish and love on the trials of daughterhood and on what it means to be someone's child while in the midst of becoming one's own person. In the opening section, Cristina examines the dynamic between mother and child, between young and old, and how this dynamic, while threaded with pangs of isolation, misunderstanding, and tension, can also become a fertile garden for learning how to navigate difficult familial relationships. It's here that her speaker develops the maturity to no longer hold to anger. It's here where an openness to compromise becomes an openness to healing. In the poem, Yo soy la flor, Cristina writes, I have bloomed away, far, far from you, and you can't see the way my arms spread against the turbine wind. I have learned how I am still part of your garden. Although I've carried myself like an onion, I am your marigold. Even as the collection dives deeper into the familial past, even as it pushes further into an interrogation of the harms and the emotional distress of a daughter seeking out the world on her own terms, we learn through these poems that the beauty of it all is the chance to grow up and to grow away from one's own, to belong not to the childhood or people who made or shaped you, but to belong to the truth and love of oneself. Congratulations, Cristina. Please join me in welcoming Cristina Sandoval.
Okay, thank you so much, Brynn, for delivering Mai Der's message so beautifully. I'd like to begin by giving my thanks. I'd like to thank Mai Der Vang for being an incredible thesis chair. Not only is she an astonishing poet, her work often arrests me when I read it. She is also a conscientious and compassionate professor and thesis chair. Her support has been invaluable. Mai Der's wisdom paired with her sharp and kind critique is just what I needed to really get my butt in gear. Thank you for those deadlines. I have written so much. Her guidance has led me to be a better writer, so thank you. I wish her the best right now. I know she cannot make it, but she's here in spirit. I want to thank and acknowledge my colleagues, my cohort. We were part of the 2020 cohort, and wow, we made it. The whole first year we were online. I wanted very much to meet you all in person. Your personalities and spirit shone through even through the computer screen. I am thankful to be writing poetry and making art with you all. Your support, camaraderie, and guidance has pushed me beyond my limits in the best way possible. Oh my gosh, that might be my family. Okay, I'll continue. I would also like to thank the professors and staff. Oh no, that was my family. Okay. I would also like to thank the professors and staff who have guided me through the journey. Brynn Saito, Tim Skeen, Stephen Church, Ronald Zervigian, Debbie Neufeld, Chuck Radke, John Held, and of course, Jefferson Beavers. You all have taught me what it is to have a proper writing discipline, even if I don't always apply it. Because as you all have emphasized, writing is not just a passion or fervor of typing one night, it's a practice. And you all have inspired me to be adventurous with my creativity, whether it was poetry workshops, or nonfiction classes, my mind has been forever expanded and I see so many possibilities now. And finally, but in no way the least, hopefully they're watching on Zoom all the way here. My family, I like to thank my family. Thank you to my amazing and awfully annoying siblings. Just kidding. Y'all are like my best friends, and I am so grateful that we are the kind of family that supports each other while we diss each other too. It's all love. And thank you to my parents. Gracias a mis viejitos. I'm so lucky to have them. Qué suerte ser tu hija. They were unwaveringly there for me in this entire journey. Emotionally, financially, spiritually, I am so blessed to be their daughter. Todo es para mi mamá y papá, Ramón y Delia, los quiero un chingo. I don't think my mom's gonna like that I cursed though. So I'm gonna begin. As Brynn said, this is kind of a journey of healing and dedicated to my mom, but I open it with a letter to my niece, who is in the 3rd generation of Sandoval women. Her name is Athena, and this poem is called A Letter to Athena. Tia Triste was once 6 years old too. I write this to you full of branches, hoping it'll echo inside. My body was a sauco when I began to dwindle, kindled breath, spark dying at 9 years old. I'm obsessed with your tenacity. You've been through Raider, the chocolate lab, biting off half your face, leaving a permanent scar. Broken clavicle, heart murmur, tiny dislocated arm, and hospital visits, 6 years, and you are seasoned with gravity. You never stop playing, never stop asking for more dulceria, and you always hold my hand. You are the wisdom in my braids, the forte in my hands when I play music, when I hold others. I've watched the stars fall through my fists, watched them align in your eyes. Hope used to taste awful, bitter, sour thing. I've sunk beneath el azúcar de tu risa. Your embrace twists my soledad into taffy. I was once a frightened child. I do not bare my teeth. I smile at my child self. I do not suffocate beneath the canopy of memory. Love is something you learn from softness. Fear does not breed sweetness. My love for you has washed away the corroded copper in my chest. That little organ covered in rust has turned to heat. Revealed, open its valves, turn the world to sugar and breath. Thank you. And I am of the tradition of poetry readings, so I'm just putting this out there for you guys if you guys are interested. If you really like something, you can totally give me snaps if you want. And don't be afraid to clap in between poems because I hate silence. So, okay. So this one is called, I'll read the Spanish and then I'll read English. Carta de los Apóstoles según mi mamá, which translates to letter to the apostles, from the apostles according to mamá. I'll start in Spanish. Enero 2:51. En un mundo perfecto no me juzgarías por mis pecados. Mija, estas manos llenas con ríos de arrugas no te faltarán. Ojos secos pero abusados. No quiero perderte de mi vista. Extiendo las ramas del sauco en la yarda de atrás como brazos míos a través del terreno y las mías y mías y mías de distancia. Amor sin condición. Lágrimas me faltan, pero sé que los años no te faltarán. En un mundo perfecto hablamos cada día y vivíamos sin extrañarnos. Te extraño. ¿Y tú? ¿Me extrañas? A veces pienso que no. A veces pienso que podrás vivir sin mis consejos, conversaciones, las preocupaciones como agujas. Mija, ten merced, porque el aire modesto aún sigue polvoriento. Remolinos de ansia viven en mis coyunturas llenas de artritis y años. ¿Cuántos años? Llámame, mija, por favor. No importa la hora. So now the English. Letter from the Apostles according to Mama. January 2:51. In a perfect world, you wouldn't judge me for my sins. Mija, these hands with rivers of wrinkles will not fail you. Dry eyes, but sharpened. I don't want to lose you from my sight. I spread elder branches from the backyard like my arms through the land, and the miles and miles and miles away. Love without condition. Tears fail me, but I know that the years will not fail you. In a perfect world, we would talk every day and live without missing each other. I miss you. And you? Do you miss me? Sometimes I think not. Sometimes I think that you can live without my advice, conversations, worries like needles. Mija, have mercy because the air in Modesto is still dusty. Small tornadoes of anxiety live in my joints full of arthritis and years. How many years? Call me Mija, please. It doesn't matter what time. I like this snap. This one, I'm kind of glad my mom doesn't know English, but I'm sure my siblings will translate just fine. And also, they don't know about this either. Sorry, this keeps lowering. And it's called "And She's Always Right." One, it's got 4 parts. I know the danger I have committed to myself and the pain I have submitted my body for, and she's worried about weed. It's not that. It's not the sullen valentine and crushed velvet, the soft coral rosary, the misery man in my mouth. It's weed that makes her reconsider me. And I already took the edible when she called. 2, I'll be fine, I say to my 23 fingers. When the walls turn to rain, I call 911, except I'm not sure if I did. The paramedics are at my door, but I'm not sure if they are. They ask who the president is. Obama? No, it's Biden. They ask what year it is. 1998? 2022? No, 2022, definitely. They keep asking why I took it and I don't know what to say. 3, I cry in the ER and tell everyone I should have listened to her. When they ask what I mean, I say, didn't you hear me? My mother. Mi madre. This is a panic attack. I would have waited hours for an Ativan if I hadn't sewed Bird up. 4, I tell the Uber driver on the way home, that was some crazy shit. He tells me no one uses masks in his car anymore, and if I had the edibles, maybe I could find a way to let them go. I want to ask where they would go. Where does that live? Letting go. I am stopped by the rosary cascading from my tongue. This one's called Dreams Her Children Forget Suffering. Mother says it doesn't hurt creating children from huesos de cera, feeding them from her pre-cancer breasts. Mother does not drink. Mother wears worn-out clothes. Mother cuts her own hair, does not pluck her eyebrows, does not wear makeup, forgets how to curl lashes. Mother used to fly through trees every night, danced like a ballerina, ate with her head in the branches. Back when the stars illuminated los paisajes, she landed, with her hands deep in the soil, and the sun felt like an angry god. Mother does not cry when her garden wilts. Her green veteran hands simply uproot the dried flowers, massage the leaves of the survivors with water. Mother gasps when her children cry that they are thirsty. They tell her that seeing her cry once in a while would have felt like rain. Years of her protective canopy, the wings she splintered and shook for her children remains upheld, but her hands were all we saw. Her grandfather died in 1994, at the age of 94, the solitary time we watched her cry. Mother closes her eyes on the couch, forgets for a moment she is not flying. And this is the one that Mai Der quoted from, called Yo Soy la Flor, and it's in parts as well. Yo soy la flor. 1, I am 16 years old in the photo on the wall in your living room, taken the day my landmine tongue spoke back, spat empty shells, called you bombastic names like cobarde and shut-in, and how dare I? I am 21 in the photo in my room, taken the day I slept until 3 p.m., and depression cratered my chest. You sat by my bed when all I could see when I closed my eyes were the monsters I wish I knew how to bury. I'm 25 in the photo in your bedroom, where I smile after I cried for hours for fear that I'd never feel love. I'm 33 in the mirror the day I see tu rostro en el mío. 2, your mother tongue slept in my mouth. Spanish speaks to me now, Every song you'd sing in your jardín rings like glass in the air between us. Gravity pulls the bags under your eyes, pregnant with my stubborn years. You devoured every insult flung from my emptiest spaces. You fed me chilaquiles and huevos con chorizo, sweet capirotada en la cuaresma with queso fresco. You always say, soluciones, no problemas. Hindsight is a crooked path, and the past is irreversible. You told me my 30s would be la flor de tu vida, as you softly step into your 70s. 3. I have bloomed away far, far from you, and you can't see the way my arms spread against the turbine wind. Love is a gilded molar I tongue daily. Words' clarity cuts me like glass, sings in Spanish just like you insisted. I have learned how I am still part of your garden. Although I've carried myself like an onion, I am your marigold. And this one is called Serenata. In an old home video circa 1991, Mama nurtures words into breath, squeezes my tío Pancho's poem like juice from the lemon on Mama Eva's tree, pours it into waiting mestizo ears, and like miel de maguey sweetens the Spanish verse. Memory shakes my teeth. I could smell the embroidered tortilla warmer on the dining table where the soft ghost of hand-turned maize still lingers. My jelly shoes tap on the scuffed linoleum. I can taste the warm soda Mama Eva would keep in the bottom cabinets, the ones I would sneak into when we slept over. I hardly know this young woman on the VHS, vibrant in her late 30s. Mama is wearing a bright orange coat and huge turtle shell glasses. When I try to recall it later, I do not remember how the poem goes. I can barely hear her in my memory. I just remember my tías and tíos and primas and primos huddled around her, a fireplace only Gallegos knew how to light. Why didn't she recite more poems when I was growing up? Or if she did, why didn't I listen? Next one is called Grown Children. There we go, in search of love, lost in the milk of the universe, sometimes finding jokes. That's my brother. Sometimes finding, okay, I'm gonna start this over for Chewy. Grown children, there we go, in search of love, lost in the milk of the universe, sometimes finding jokes around fire pits and backyards with starred sky cousins. Here we are with these big bodies, piloted by clumsy children trying to return to the outline of laughter, ratcheting our pulse. Youth is a grin we learn to drop. We learn to unchild our weight, carry gasoline on our backs. We are stale butterflies, urgent, wings edged and hardened in glue. We lie to each other as children do, wondering when our chrysalis will bloom. We wonder when our scalloped shoulder blades will stretch past our noses. This one, I'm glad my siblings are here, because this one's about us. Right, Lucy? Southside Modesto, age 8. I'm at my tia Flora's house where the roads are dirt and the pickup trucks are parked at aimless angles. We used to be neighbors, but my cousins got into gangs, and as soon as my brothers graffitied a house, our dad moved us out. 2. We're just visiting. Me, my cousins, and my siblings melt into the couch. Sorry, I'm distracted. In the 90s, there wasn't much to do besides talk. There are silences punctuated by metal fan blades carving the hot air. Antonio Aguilar con la banda on tape plays on the boombox out in the yard where our parents are talking loudly. 3. My cousins want to go to the liquor store. On the corner, I am afraid of dogs. I'm afraid of most everything at this age. I would often pray before leaving my house, cross myself for protection, because if Jesus was there for anything, it was to save me from the wayward dogs of the South Side. 4. We make it halfway down the street when 3 Rottweilers chase us. We scream, begin to run. when the booming voice of an adult and the reckoning snap of a shotgun comes from a house nearby. The dogs bolt. What am I doing? Good. Oh. 5. I am a clouded story, horror and witness certainty of the fear in a Rottweiler's chest. Okay, so the next one is called When God Bust My Lip with His Fists. The horizon I carry around in me, the rivers and the mountains and the snake pits, the bedrock on my lips, stone canines, jelly shoes, balloon like the sun hiding beneath my pillow, between my ribs. I've got jazz, blues, and diamonds in the webs of my fingers, got loud in my airways, lux scars peeking through baby hairs. I've got gut strings in my ink. I've waited 36 weeks for confirmation, validation that I'm more than a knot, ribboned into, twisted into arms that can cave, play crooked notes like unfired clay pots and molten vinyl. I place my warped melody in their hands as they bowl, as they cup, collecting my remorse. And this one is called A Body in Healing. Today, I will forgive myself. Today, I will forgive my body. God says, observe the stars. My cells rumble with starlight, seek ocean. My arms search for an outside embrace. My mind turns remolino. Stepping foot into the blue well's heart, traveling through its body, I get lost. Lost in my hands, slip on my feet. My teeth grow worry like moss. Forgotten ocean, forgotten song. Convinced myself I drowned years ago. In between well ribs, there is a mirror. I know this one, know these gray hairs. Once a girl in this well belly, I smile with the meat of my mouth, all the years in my eyes. My song awaits, engulfs me. Let it recover my body, my hungry heart. Feed me only love's glorious melody. Not sure how much more time I have, but I have one more poem. The one about Ramon. That's my dad. My child hands often shook as I searched the walls for impressions of your fingerprints. I looked for the little concave cazuelas, the drywall little bowls your fingers crafted. Maybe if I touched the walls, I could hold your hand. 2. January 19th, 1988. You left my mother drowning at the hospital while you sank into a shot glass. My birth punctuated by beer breath. My birth punctuated by my mother's acquiescence. A surrender only a mother knows. That's just the way men are. My birth. 1988. You'd get the year wrong for years. And I guess it's the way dads are. My birth progressed into childhood, and your DUI rang sirens in my temples. Sorry, my pages. 3. You were the constant presence at my concerts, even if no one else showed. You glued a new bridge to the violin your friend found at a junkyard, and you thought of me. It was from a junkyard, but we were poor, and you glued it on with construction glue because your hands built concrete walls, but broke down my doubt brick by brick. You will not hold my hand. 34, and you still listen to me play. You watch me mourn my losses, loosen my laughter every time I see you. 4. On the night of my birth, you didn't disappear, like I used to tell myself. I trust you to be there, even if I played a concerto in a closet. Thank you.